Hi there, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, back once again this week to show you L Luthier ukuleles. L Luthier are a Malaysian brand, very popular around the world. When you Google L Luthier, the first thing you see is their guitars. Their guitars have been around for well over a decade, and they seem to be a real alternative brand in the circles of mid-price to high-end guitars. And their ukuleles can be described much the same way. The current range includes mahogany, koa, spruce with koa and spruce with rosewood models, and they're all fantastic based on the first sort of 8-9 models that we've seen. I currently only have 3 models left that I can show you, but I really want to film this video because I polled so many of you on social media about the brand you wanted to see, and both times I've mentioned it, L Luthier have been a very popular vote. So we're going to look at 3 models today. So we're going to look at the Koa Concert, then we're going to look at the mahogany tenor, and then finally we're going to look at a spruce topped Koa back and sides tenor as well. They also do a very popular model called the La Rose, which is rosewood back and sides of a spruce top. Unfortunately that's sold out before I could film this video, but I look forward to showing you that one in the future. Okay, the first ukulele we're going to look at today is the L Luthier Light Koa, which is the Koa Concert ukulele. The first thing I'll point out is that the body shape of this concert is much more like a tenor than a concert. It's wider, it's deeper, it's a tenor, but it has a concert neck and just a slightly reduced overall length to the body. It's its own thing. You couldn't really judge it on traditional kind of preconceptions on what a ukulele should be. It has a gloss finish with an all solid Koa body. You have an ebony fingerboard and a rosewood bridge, which is quite a unique feature. And one thing I will note is that there's some really nice figured maple front binding, back binding, and all the way up the fingerboard as well. It feels like, I don't hate saying this because it sounds so salesy, but it feels like the higher end AnueNues, but it's noticeably cheaper. You'll note I put one of these in Phil's hands during the blindfold video to try and throw him, because there's something about how this feels that is so reminiscent of the AnueNue UT200. It has a satin neck, it has aged tuners that are made by popular tuner brand De Young, and they've got this kind of aged copper look to them. It would be very hard to find an exact match on a strap button, but they do look extremely cool, and they're really good tuners as well, really tight, easy to move, but very precise. You have a side sound hole, which is kind of a D-shaped sound hole, and then you have two very, well, I don't know how to describe them, 2 very unique sound holes on the side of the upper bout as well, so kind of pointing up towards you as you play. And there's a tiny feature you don't necessarily pick up straight away, is that the fingerboard is contoured around those sound holes, so it's a really nice sheer design. When you look down at it, it's another thing that adds to that feel of quality. I look stupid when I play these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to film this bit now, and then I'm going to get all the sound samples played by one of the other guys when they arrive. So you're about to hear the Light Koa Concert. The second ukulele we're going to look at today has a much more exotic name. It's called Le Maho, which actually means the mahogany. But yeah, it's just the nicest stained mahogany I've seen in a long while. There's lots of tight grain to it, and although I can't find straight away a source of the mahogany being kind of Honduran mahogany or something a bit more exotic than the norm, it definitely looks like it is. You have the gloss body once again with those front and back maple bindings that make the whole thing just feel more classy, more high-end. have a satin neck with that cutaway, and there is just the tiniest strip of padauk along the front as well, in between the maple and the mahogany, as well as that rosewood fingerboard and bridge on this model. There's a slight inlay just up the fingerboard on all of these. I didn't pick it up when I was talking about the concert a minute ago, but there's a nice inlay halfway up the neck, and they all have those L Luthier ebony face plates with the aged copper style tuners. And we should also talk about the fact that the limb mahogany has a pickup. So you can plug this into an amp. The pickup is quite interesting, different to other things we've had in the past. If you look inside the sound hole, it's called Amp Tech with a Q at the end. It kind of reminds me of Acme, the brand from the Looney Tunes. And yeah, I don't know much about the pickup, but I have plugged it in and I think it sounds really nice. You have a blend system, so you've got a tiny bit of you've got a microphone blend and a volume for the piezo. It's one of those systems where less is more, so you probably have the mic volume at about 1 or 2 and just give you some ambient noise of the acoustic characteristics of the ukulele, but you would mainly rely on the piezo if you were going at high volumes. Yeah, I really like these ukuleles, although stylistically they're not the kind of thing that I would normally go for at a fraction of the price of the AnueNues. I really do think that these are just a great compromise for people that can't afford to go up to something at the real high end, but they want a taste of that. And there are quite a few ukuleles out on the market that do that well right now, but none of them that have this body shape. This body shape is much more like a super tenor than a normal tenor. It's very wide, like the kanile'a super tenor, and it's a loud instrument with lots of character. So I'm going to pass over now to one of the guys, and they're going to give a sound sample of the Maho. The last ukulele we're going to look at today is a really rare find. It's a super tenor sized body with a spruce top. This is the L Luthier Koa S. The Koa S, spruce top is the S, the Koa back and sides is the rest of the namesake, and they all look vastly different, so we've numbered them on the website and listed them individually. The features on the Koa S are much like the Koa model that we looked at the beginning. You have the ebony fingerboard and the rosewood bridge. You've got the same side sound holes with the slight cut into the fingerboard there. You have a tie-on bridge with a satin neck and a gloss finished body, and really lovely figured fingerboard maple all the way up to the top. You have those aged copper style open back tuners that have a kind of steampunk vibe to them. And now I'm angry at myself because I haven't mentioned the nut width up to now. The nut width on these is 37mm, but with a nice wide string spacing. So they feel about as wide as it gets. A 38 and a 37mm nut width with wide string spacing feel kind of, I can't tell the difference between them, and I play these things all the time. The concerts have a 36mm nut width, but once again it has a wide string spacing, so it feels bigger than most. And in addition to the maple binding, you have that strip of padauk all the way around, which kind of frames the whole thing really nicely. In fact, that is just a lovely shot of a very unique ukulele. And as we pull away, we see just how big, bold and beautiful it is. Yeah, I've said enough. I don't want to say too much. I just want you to hear them and love them. Let's give the Koa S a play and see what you think. Well, there you have it, folks. We've taken a first look at L Luthier, and I really hope that I've done them justice. Before we sign off, I want to tell you a very quick story. I promise it's worth hanging around for. The day these arrived, the first delivery, we got them out of the boxes and we put them on the rack behind me there, you know, the wall in the middle, and we just looked at them and we said, well, look, they're priced right, they feel good, they sound good, people are going to love them, but they look strange, they look different, so they're not going to be for everybody, and I think that they might hang around for a while. And about an hour later, two brothers from Birmingham, Ray and Charles, that's their names. Parents have got a sense of humour. Great guys, by the way. Hope you're watching. And they came in and tried a few instruments, some Millers, some flights, and they both went away with L Luthier ukuleles that they thought were excellent, and they were excellent. And about an hour after they left, another man came in looking at the AnueNue UT200, and he couldn't really justify moving up to that price point, so he tried the L Luthier. It was the model behind me, the L Koa S. He played it for ages and he said, well, this is the one I need to have. So on the first day they arrived, we sold 3 of them without anybody having any knowledge about what they were, where they came from. People just trying them against other instruments really liked them. And that's the biggest endorsement we can give of a brand. So we look forward to showing off more L Luthiers in the future. But if you have a favourite or any questions you want to talk about, you can leave a comment or you can email me at alex@ukulele.co.uk or call the store on 01202 430 820. I'll be back very, very soon. I hope this video was informative and fun. Thanks a lot.